Welcome! We've put together this guide specifically for you, senior leaders who need to get a handle on the AI literacy requirements of the EU's AI Act. We're going to focus on Article 4 and really what it means for your company's governance and overall strategy.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at the AI Act's global reach, your core literacy obligation, the difference between provider and deployer roles, how to design role-based training, a high-level action plan to get you started, and then we'll wrap up with next steps and a quick disclaimer.
All right, let's start with the big question, probably the one on many of your minds. Why should a US-based or multinational company even care about a European regulation? Well, the answer is absolutely fundamental to your global risk management strategy. You know, it's a really common assumption for leaders to think, hey, we're not based in the EU, so this doesn't apply to us. But let me be clear, that's an assumption that could turn into a very, very costly mistake.
And the answer is a resounding yes. The Act has what's called extraterritorial reach. Think of it this way. The law doesn't care where your headquarters are. It follows the impact of your AI. So if the output of your AI system is used inside the EU, guess what? You're on the hook. And to really drive home the urgency, just look at this timeline. The AI literacy rules, they actually took effect back in February of 2025. And now, enforcement by national authorities is set to begin this August. So the clock is absolutely ticking. Action is needed now.
Okay, so that brings us to the core of it all. From a governance standpoint, what does the Act actually demand of you? Let's really dig into Article 4 and your core AI literacy obligation.
So the Act gets pretty specific here. It defines AI literacy as having the skills and understanding to use AI systems in an informed way. But here's the key part for you as leaders. It's also about being aware of the opportunities, the risks, and the potential harm. This isn't about being a tech expert. It's about responsible oversight.
To help with this, the EU's AI office has laid out some minimum expectations. Think of it as a four-step process. First, make sure there's a general understanding of AI across the board. Second, figure out if you're a provider or a deployer. We'll get to that. Third, you've got to identify the specific risks of the AI you're using. And finally, you have to tailor your training. This is not a simple checklist. It's a strategic framework. Okay, I just mentioned that distinction between being a provider versus a deployer. This is absolutely critical to understand, because your responsibilities change dramatically depending on which camp you fall into.
So let's break it down. On one side, you have the provider. These are the folks who actually develop an AI system and put it on the market. They bear the main weight of responsibility for things like risk assessments and technical documentation. On the other side, you have the deployer. This is anyone who uses an AI system in a professional setting. Your job is to make sure there's human oversight and that you're using the system the way it was intended. It's a huge difference, and your training has to reflect that reality.
This leads us right into training design. And let me just say, a generic, one-size-fits-all training program simply will not work here. It's not enough for compliance. The Act demands a strategy that's customized for different roles, from the boardroom all the way to the front line.
I think this quote from MIT Sloan really hits the nail on the head. It says, AI literacy for leaders isn't about the tech nitty-gritty. It's about looking at it through a leadership lens. It's about connecting AI to the big picture, strategy, governance, risk, and organizational impact. For you, it's about asking the right questions, not knowing how to write the code.
So what does that look like in practice? Well, think of it as a multi-layered framework. You start with Layer 1, the foundation, some mandatory training for literally everyone on the basics of AI governance. Then, Layer 2 gets more specific for roles like HR or procurement. Layer 3 is highly specialized, bespoke training for people operating high-risk systems. And finally, Layer 4 is for you, the board and senior management, focusing on strategic oversight and risk.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. How do we actually translate all this into a concrete plan? Let's walk through a high-level action plan you can start thinking about right away. Here's a simple four-step framework. Step 1. Assess where you are right now. Find the gaps in AI literacy across the company. Step 2. Tailor your training programs based on those roles and risks we talked about. Step 3, and this is so important, document everything, all your training activities. This is how you demonstrate compliance. And finally, Step 4. This isn't a one-and-done project. You need to monitor and update your training to keep up.
All right, as we wrap up, let's talk about your immediate next steps and a very important disclaimer.
I need to be crystal clear on this point.
What we've discussed today is a strategic guide. It's designed to give you, as leaders, your bearings. It is absolutely not a substitute for formal legal advice. You must, and I repeat, must, consult with qualified legal counsel to figure out your company's specific obligations and risks under the AI Act.
So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your next board meeting. How will you, as a leader, ensure there is effective and ongoing oversight of your organization's AI literacy and compliance? Because at the end of the day, this responsibility, it lands squarely with you. Building this culture of AI literacy isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's a fundamental part of leadership and a core compliance requirement.